When you look in the mirror this morning, did you see someone really mad, angry, looking back at you? You know, those baggy eyes looking at you. Did it make you angry? Do you live with someone who is mad all the time? I think we all know people in our lives. It's not a bad thing to be mad. I think sometimes we think, oh, well, we all just need to be happy and calm and just, that's it. You're supposed to get mad sometimes. It's okay. Here to join us to talk about that is the man who is more of an expert on these issues than you and I are. That's why we get him on once a week, Dr. John Braccio from Regional Psychological Services. Doc, don't be mad at me, but let's talk about anger issues today. How you doing?
Doing good, Mike. And I think you made pretty good comments in terms of your introduction now, and when you talked about even earlier in your show. Today we're specifically talking about helping a loved spouse or partner trying to overcome unreasonable anger. This would be the same pattern you would use with a friend, or you would use it with a family member, someone you care for. And anger is a normal emotion someone feels when frustrated or feeling some level of mistreatment or misunderstanding. And anger can really be helpful when you're protecting yourself or others from danger and unfair treatment. However, when someone has problems controlling their anger and relationships suffer or even end, then a person has unreasonable anger that must be controlled. Now, for clarification, not talking here about an anger that results in physical abuse or ongoing bullying, demeaning, and sarcastic treatment. No, we're talking about loving persons, just really can't be around such abusive persons. Sure, we're talking here about when spouses or partners show unreasonable anger, and really they want you to help them overcome the anger and really acknowledge they have it, and it's something that needs to be changed. So both need to recognize anger is often a secondary emotion, and it results from such things as fear, depression, jealousy, low self-esteem, high anxiety, substance abuse, family issues, societal expectations, and employment issues. Now, once the two of you have figured out the causes of the unreasonable anger, the following really are things that can be done to help your loved one to overcome it. It's something done together. One, you want to identify the triggers for the anger and replace them with healthy ones. This is easier said than done, but it's really the key. Two, actively listen. What's bothering the person? Really understand it, and each of you really understand what's the underlying cause, what's going on here. Three, always try to be as calm as possible. Always good to be calm rather than come back and tell the angry person, well, you're an idiot and a dummy. That'll always get the angry person going and get you going. Not a good idea, okay? Four, you want to change the focus of a discussion that is going nowhere. There are times that that's just to say, let's take a time out here. Five, allow them emotional space as needed when they're working out their anger. There are times when people can be angry or kind of not quite sure where they are, and that's a good time to just kind of back off a bit. Six, set boundaries for what you will accept and not accept that both of you understand and agree. There have to be boundaries in terms of what you're willing to accept from an angry person. Seven, make supportive statements. Always encourage the person. That's true with anything, but anger is certainly a major time to do that. Then 8 is needed. Strongly support them to seek professional help from an experienced therapist in anger management. And 9, encourage spiritual support and growth as appropriate for the person and what they desire. 10, you want to make sure in the process you look after your own emotional well-being. You can't just become a punching bag or someone who, even though you're helping, you're just constantly getting abused or given a hard time. And then 11, do not become codependent. This is another big thing to worry about. The person does not change, and you continue over and over again to put up with the anger. They choose to not overcome. So this is especially true if the anger is directed at you. So there are a lot of things that can be done to help a person overcome unreasonable anger. Ultimately, they have to be the one who determines that, yes, they're going to do it. But you find the triggers, you try to work on them, you try to be helpful with the person, you work as a team. And I've seen many people overcome anger. Many people have to overcome anger. And if you're going to lead a successful life, you can't have unreasonable anger because it'll clearly undo relationships. And it's just a bad thing to have. like you said, and I commented also that it's reasonable anger is good. It protects yourself if you're treated unfairly. Nothing wrong with anger. So it's an important tool that we have within us that helps us deal with the problems of life. But when it becomes something that's destructive and causes issues, then we really do have to work on overcoming it. And if we have a love spouse, partner, or someone we really care about that's working with us, we then, as a team, can work on it and hopefully have success and lead a much happier life for everyone.
Yeah. Dr. John Braccio, this could be a big subject. I would imagine in your practice you see this a lot. Are we angrier overall as a people, do you think?
I do. It's hard to generalize to a whole society, but there seems to be a lot of anger. We have a lot of bifurcation, two different views of looking at things. And I think also we're teaching people to be angry and look for issues. I think we in life, if we want to be happy, we can, there's always going to be negativity, but we want to look for positivity. We want to try to focus on things that put us in a good mood, not things that put us in a bad mood. And I just see a lot of people more than I would say the average that I've seen over a lifetime, that just seem to have a lot of anger and frustration, and often about things they can't control. And a lot of times over word meanings. And, come on, let's loosen up, be nice to people, let's respect people, let's try to find reasons why people do things, even things we might not like. Because remember, a person is really more than just one or two things. So I think if we're tolerant and we try to work with people, but when we're talking about angry people, that's a little different. But we can still try to understand, like, what's going on, pal? What's happening? Why do you feel this way? If you're in a relationship living with someone, you just want to know, what is it? Someone can really be frustrated by work. They can feel they're not getting ahead in life. They feel they're really tired. They're overwhelmed. People don't understand them. These are all things that can bring on anger. Financial issues. Sometimes people can inappropriately use alcohol, drugs, call. So there's so many things that can cause a person to be angry. And anger, as you mentioned and I mentioned too, it's a useful tool, a critical tool in life. But when we are angry, we're taught to be angry, we find things to be angry for, and we don't look for things that can make us happy and satisfied in life, then it can lead to not only an abusive relationship, but the angry person is the ultimate loser, because they lose friendships, they lose marriages, they lose relationships, they lose jobs. Whereas the person who tries to find positivity looks for the good in life, looks for positive. And you'll find if you talk to a negative person or someone who's angry a lot, well, just because you're just looking through, rose-covered glasses, to which you think to yourself, well, look, I'm quite happy in life, and you seem very unhappy. You might want to, put some different ideological lenses on so you find positivity rather than negativity. But it's a common problem. I mean, anger's everywhere, but it's really how it's controlled. And oh my, as you mentioned, there's a lot of anger. I notice it, and I do think there may be more now, because I think even people that are leading a very good life, I don't know if they're trained or the way they're looking or the way they look at life, it just seems they can find the negative. There can be a beautiful sunny day, and they'll say, you can tell them, it's really a beautiful day. What's going to change? That there are clouds coming in. I'll say, well, that may be true, but hey, I'm going to enjoy today. I'll prepare for tomorrow, but I'm not going to be ruining the day thinking about the storm that's coming in. I'm going to want to enjoy today. If there is a storm, you want to be thinking, hey, there's going to be a blue sky. There's going to be a nice day, and I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to have some positivity and look forward to that nice day that's coming. So life is really how you look at things. Even Caesar said, persons determine, how they're going to see things, how are they going to perceive things. So I think if we want to be happy, and as my mother used to say, the optimist and pessimist have the same frequency of air, but the optimist is so much happier. And I do believe that's a good way to look at life. So try to find the good, and if you're in this relationship and you live with someone in particular, you better work these things out, because a lot of divorces and a lot of bad relationships are really because a person cannot control their anger. They cannot control what makes them mad. They cannot deal with it. So if you can work on it, and if you're a team and you can work together, there can be a lot of success. I've seen a lot of success in relationships with people over the years, Mike, but if people don't work at it and don't try to work as a team, it's not going to work, and the person will continue and have a really an unhappy life. You can't be a happy person if you're angry. They're diametrically opposed, and really often anger and depression are seen to be on a continuum. So if you can deal with negativity in your life, then you're also going to be able to control, the anger, the attacks and things you're having. We're having a big topic. This is a big topic to deal with, actually.
Yeah, we could go on all day on this one, Doc.
Well, I think positivity is there if we really work at it. That's really the key.
That's one of the reasons we do. That's why we do groovy news at the end of the show. It really is. We always end with that. Hey, listen, we're up on time, but it's always a pleasure. Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services, with us once again for Tuesday. Thanks, Doc. Have a great week, would you?
Always a pleasure. Same to you, my friend. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye now. 7:21 and about 29 degrees here this morning. Popping up around 35 today with clouds now, but snow comes in on Wednesday. But that's okay. It's wintertime, Michigan, right? 1320 WILS.